Good morning, Madam Maslena and everyone. Today, we will discuss the causes, effect, and solution of child abuse. Let me begin with one of the major causes: family problems. Conflicts, divorce, or broken families can lead to emotional distress and negligence. For example, a child who stays in a home where there is always a fight may feel insecure and unwanted, and this can lead to abuse. So, candidate B, what you think is another causes?
Thanks, Usaimin. Other cause is poverty and financial stress. When parents have problem with money, they may lose their emotional balance and take out their frustration on their child. For instance, a parent under stress may shout at or even hit their child, which affect the child psychology. How about you, Wafi?
Yes, this is correct. And also, drug or alcohol abuse by parent is a serious reason. When parents are drug or alcohol addicts, they may neglect or harm their children intentionally or unintentionally. For example, a parent under the influence or drug or alcohol may become violent or fail to offer basic care. How about you, Faiz?
That's a reasonable agreement. Another reason is a domestic violence within family. When children witness violence among parents, they either fall victim themselves or become traumatized emotionally. For example, a child may be used a scapegoat in an agreement, which will psychological consequences in the long run. Do you agree with me, or do you have any to add, Thompson?
Yeah, I agree with all of you. And another important factor I like to highlight is a parent history of being abused. When parents have experienced abuse in their own childhood, they might not have learned positive ways to deal with anger or discipline. This becomes the cause because they often repeat what they have experienced before. So, what do you think about my point?
Yes, I also agree with you. So let's talk about the effects. One of the greatest effects of child abuse is mental issues. Children who were abused are likely to develop depression, anxiety, or PTSD. For example, a child who constantly gets yelled at or beaten can become fearful and develop low self-esteem. So, what about you, candidate B?
But one of which is behavioral problem. Abused children can become violent, withdrawn, or even trust others with difficulty. For instance, a child who was neglected emotionally might find it hard to have healthy relationship. Do you agree with me, Wafi?
Yes, I agree. Because school performance can also be affected. Abused children lose interest in school, skip school, or poorly. For example, a children who is traumatized can find it hard to concentrate or complete homework. How about you?
Yes, and another effect is physical health problem. Abuse can lead to injuries, malnutrition, or delayed development. For example, a physically abused child can sustain broken bones or ongoing pain. Okay, Tom, what is your next point to strengthen this argument?
For me, the effect is quite serious because it creates a cycle of abuse where harmful behavior is passed from one generation to another. The children might grow up fearful, develop low self-esteem, or even show the same abusive behavior when they become parents themselves. So that's from me.
So, let's talk about the solutions. One solution is counseling and family supports. Families should be persuaded to discuss issue openly and resolve disagreement non-violently. For examples, listening and understanding can avert tension and abuse. So how about you, candidate B?
In my other solution is financial assistance and stress management program. Parents under financial stress should visit community service for assistance or discuss problem with trusted friends. This can avert harmful behavior and pressure. How about you, Wafi?
Yes, and drug abuse rehabilitation is also required. The addiction parent need to go to professional and agency like a National Anti-Drug Agency for assistance. This will rescue children from abuse. How about you?
Another solution is temporary separation in the case of domestic violence. Children can be sent to live with relatives like grandparents while their parents sort out the issue. This will protect the child. Tom, I give you a last point.
And the last point from me is there are a few points from me. First, parents should get therapy or counseling to help from their past trauma. And then second, parenting education programs can teach them better ways to communicate and discipline without violence. And third and lastly, community support groups can help parents feel less isolated and more supported. I think that's all from me. What do you think about my point?
We'll come with you.
We agree with you.
Tom?
Okay.
Okay, do you guys have any conclusion?
Nothing from me, I guess.
Okay, for me is my conclusion is briefly child abuse is caused by domestic violence, family problem, financial issue, substance abuse and history of being abused. It lead to serious effects like mental health disorder, school failure, physical injury and social withdrawal. However, with proper support, counseling and intervention, we can rescue children and restore family to wellness again. Thank you, Madam Mazliana, and thank you everyone for your input. It was valuable discussion. Thank you everyone.
Thank you. Rupa-rupanya saya